Hey everyone, so this week's bonus video, we're going under the hood of another old guitar. So today we have, you will see the Selma case. So it can only be an old Fender. It's quite cool designs on here actually from the previous owner. Previous owner was a chap called John Graham, based in the Cheltenham area. And he was a member of the Ramrods. It says on here Johnny of the Falcons Ramrods. Obviously got the Fender Stratocaster logo. It's quite smartly done. Obviously a Shadows fan, Jet Harris written on there, and various other things. But John Graham played for the Ramrods, and he purchased this guitar in 1962. So this is the second time we are seeing this guitar, because we sold it on behalf of John Graham's estate for the widow back in 2016, and it looked a lot different than this. We'll flash up a picture on the screen for you of what the guitar used to look like when we previously had it. So the guitar has been restored by Pete Lewis, based in Somerset. Someone we actually know quite well. So the purchaser of the guitar in the auction had Pete get it back as close to original as possible. So that includes the Fiesta Red finish. But it was when we had it, it was originally a really dark red. There's some information here about him. See if we can get close in. So there's his coffin. There's a story online because he was taken away in a guitar-shaped coffin. Quite a thing. So you can see how much of a guitar nut he was. But there he is. You can see the guitar, a white finish Strat there. But here you can see the guitar back in 1962 with him. So lots of information about him there. Again, another shot of the coffin. There he is with the ramrods. But yeah, it's another good one to have a look underneath. Check out the originality. You'll have already noticed, the eagle-eyed among you will have already noticed some things. Replacement guard, all the plastics are replaced. You will notice the body, how the hole comes out further than the bridge itself, so that has been enlarged at some point. That is not right. So it has been carved back. Maybe it had a bigger bridge put in there at some point. And this plate, the bridge plate, faceplate, doesn't appear original to me, but the saddles and the block do. Original serial, 5-digit serial plate, refinished neck. You can see the old original wear underneath the new lacquer. Replacement Cluson tuners. So hopefully that will give you, this video will give you some insight of what's going on inside, and it will give you some confidence in bidding if you're after a more player's grade instrument rather than original spec that won't cost quite as much. So let's have a look. So I've already got the guitar unscrewed. So neck's unscrewed and the pickguard is also unscrewed. Just for ease, so you don't have to watch me doing that. And we take the neck off. So as you will see, there is the 61 stamp. You can actually see the lacquer quite clearly over the top there, of this refinished neck. But you can see the thick slab, rosewood. Slab board up until early 62, and then late 62 we go to veneer boards. So yeah, that is a big old slab of Brazilian rosewood. As I've already mentioned, it's had a refret, which it needed, quite frankly. So we've got the original decal there, which some of it's worn away as it does. And as we've already mentioned, the replacement tuners, the Cluson style, because the other ones were apparently shot. So we will turn this around just to look inside underneath the guard easier. So inside the neck pocket you'll notice the paint stick mark. Now if this was the original finish, which is not, you wouldn't have the paint stick in 61. You would but you would see nail holes, so this would usually be full of colour. This is obviously a paint stick there because it's the method that Pete Lewis used to refinish this guitar. It was a much deeper red, as we've already seen when we previously sold it. The guard's been replaced and all the plastics are replaced. Now the guitar's apart and we can get closer. The saddles are okay, but you will notice that the plate, the chrome plate, doesn't look right to me. And then quickly flipping it over, the block does look okay. These springs look too new, but then you got the claw there as well, which does look old. These two screws don't look right, but for what it's worth, you can see the relicking job that Pete's done on this one, in the Fiesta Red. And yeah, so taking the replacement guard off, when we sold this, as I said earlier, the guard really was shot to pieces. But you can see the cavities, which are obviously messed around. So the channel here has been widened at some point. There are some of the original worm fibres left, but not much. But you can see that most of the cavities have been disturbed slightly. Can't see any of the original pinholes that I can make out, but because I know the previous history of this guitar, I know this body's okay. You know, originally owned from 1962, I sold it for that owner, and I seem to remember, although it was a long time ago, we're talking 9 years ago, I do remember the pinholes being visible, although it was a refinish. So looking at the electrics, we can see that the pickups are original, although this pickup has been rewound, and you can see the newer cloth. You can see the difference between the cloth wire colour, and also you can see where at some point there's some solder disturbance here where wires have been attached directly to the point. So but yeah, it has now been put back. I think despite the pickguard being changed, this tin shielding plate looks like the original, and I remember the old guard had some mods. It was a shell type guard, and you can see the holes.
Oh, yeah.
Where those mods were. So I'm pretty sure that is as I said, the original tin shield. So original pickups, although this one has been rewound. We've got two pots here dating to 1961. We've got a correct type 3-way switch here. This pot is obviously not the same. I think I can get a reading. There's a lot of solder covering over, but I think it's an early 70s pot. It's an early 70s Stratocaster or similar potentiometer there. And this cap is a later replacement, so that is not original. Usually you'd expect a red disc. You did occasionally on early Strats get this type, but that is a later one and it's not original to the guitar. So electrics with Strats are quite simple in some ways. When you've seen enough of these pickups, you get a general feel for them. There are some telltale signs just by the way the base plates appear and feel, and how the points appear. You know, if these points are disturbed, then usually you know that something is amiss. But there we go. That is the internals covered. So we will get this back together, and that gives you a good idea. Just quickly brushing over other things that are in the case. We have an arm. That arm is not original. That's a later repro. The plastic's wrong for one thing. We've got a few other pieces here, a few bits and pieces. Not all of these are original parts, but we've got the original bridge cover there. And this tag here is actually the original price ticket, which I think is quite cool. £166 in 1962. And there is the original receipt of sale. It's bringing back memories from when I sold this in 2014.
So you're going to say it's bringing back memories from when you bought it in the 60s, Luke.
So there we go, 1962. Price actually differs. Oh no, it doesn't. There we go. 166. Fender Stratocaster guitar from Ken Watson Limited with the matching serial number. And it's always nice to see original tags, again with the matching price, the serial number written in pencil. So we've got the original tags for the instrument, and there we go.
That's really cool, actually. I can think of all of the 60 Strats we've had, I don't think I've seen that in.
No, we had a P bass in the last sale which had those, but they just don't.
Oh yeah,
they're never kept.
Who really keeps it?
You know, who keeps a receipt? Well, a lot of people do, but I don't. And then we do actually have a little disc there which shows some of the restoration work that Pete did to this guitar. And as you will have already seen, we flashed over a picture of the guitar in its original state. So there we go. If you do enjoy these internal videos, there are other ones up on our channel, previous ones going in the sale. We did one of our feature-length consignment updates where we featured 2 Strats. So have a look at those, and there's also one of a 82 JV Squire, and then there's a Les Paul one that you can look at as well. All guitars that are coming up in the auction on the 5th of December. But this is lot 21 going into the December auction, and I hope you enjoyed looking at this. There we go, guys. This guitar coming up on the 5th of December. Hope you've enjoyed that little bonus video before we come back later in the week to show you a bigger consignment update where we will have lots and lots of lovely things. So thanks for joining. Remember to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to be notified with future uploads, and we will see you next time.